Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening everyone, thanks for joining us. There have been warm embraces and some tears as 60,000 students returned to school. As many eagerly headed back to the classroom, anxiety lingers about learning in a COVID environment.
Hand in hand, side by side, parents and children ready for the opportunities that await.
They're probably more excited than what we are, so I think they're looking forward to it.
Checking into school in the new COVID normal.
We're excited, we're ready to get back into a routine and be a little bit normal again.
Sanitiser on hand at the gate, part of a suite of measures to stay safe.
I'm feeling safe right now, but I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Some simply looking forward to a sense of normality.
Seeing my friends.
There were plenty of warm embraces as parents said goodbye once again, some feeling a little apprehensive about the year ahead.
Just moved over from Melbourne and it feels quite normal to an extent, but certainly a bit of nerves.
I would say 50-50. I think they like their home time.
It wasn't a day of celebration for everyone, particularly to those affected by the Hillcrest tragedy.
But that is a strong and resilient school community, and I'm certain that all of Tasmania wishes them very well as they restart their school journey today.
5,000 teachers are back on deck, but not all are feeling optimistic. A survey by the Education Union revealing only 1/5 of its members feel safe returning to work.
Even though it's not business as usual, we're trying to carry on as close to business as usual as possible.
The Premier says the union is politicising what should be an exciting day.
Now, whilst there is some anxiousness, and that's understandable, in the main, teachers want to get back into schools and want to do what they do.
He's dismissing the concerns of his own workforce, who are fronting up today to deliver education in our schools.
The Premier and the Missing in Action Education Minister have refused to put the resourcing in. They've been penny pinching and playing politics.
6 early childhood centres and 1 independent school in the central north have already had an outbreak since schools returned last week. And while Public Health says it can't capture every case, it is monitoring the situation closely.
Whether it's children or adults, we're not diagnosing every single case that's out there, but we are getting a very good testing rate, and we are diagnosing people who are developing symptoms.
87 teachers were barred from entering the classroom today after failing to meet the state government's vaccine mandate.
And on that, our reporter Ainsley Kosh joins us now. Ainsley, what happens to those teachers who haven't been vaccinated?
Kim, they'll continue to be paid for the next 7 days and are expected to work from home until they can provide proof of 2 doses of a COVID jab. Until they can provide that evidence, they won't be able to enter a school site. The state government has a pool of 1,700 relief teachers on deck to fill staffing shortfalls, but that could mean a disruption for many students across the state as they begin the school term without their assigned teachers, Kim.
Challenging times. Thanks very much there, Ainsley Kosh. Well, fire investigators have determined a Rochely warehouse fire was accidentally lit. The TFS says the fire was extinguished at 3:40 this afternoon, 44 hours after they started fighting the blaze. Crews will continue to patrol the site over the coming days to ensure it doesn't reignite. The estimated damage bill has been revised down to $4 million. Police have saturated shopping and transport precincts in southern Tasmania in a 3-day crackdown on crime. The blitz kicked off yesterday after increased reports of shoplifting and drug possession in the area. Highly visible foot patrols are on the lookout for known offenders.
We just don't tolerate antisocial behaviour within the community, and whether it's the youth offending or the adults offending, we plan to crack down on it and make sure that everyone can feel safe and secure in our bus malls and shopping centres.
Hobart, Glenorchy and Rosny are among the suburbs being targeted, with a range of resources deployed including detectives and police dogs. The workshops will be held in coming days to teach visitors and locals how to ride e-scooters correctly. The Beam Safe Academy will include a quiz, a briefing guide for new riders, as well as a hands-on training course. The education program has been created following a number of near misses and riders not following the rules. The workshops will be held in Hobart on Saturday and in Launceston on Monday. The co-founder of a Tasmanian distillery says he's optimistic about its future after a massive blaze 1 year ago today. It caused $3 million damage and left its owners shattered but determined to rebuild.
Plumes of smoke barrelled into the air and fierce flames erupted, wiping out Adams Distillery's engine room. The devastating blaze left employee Greg Longmore fighting for life with burns to almost half his body.
Greg's still recovering well and is just continuing to improve day to day.
Some dark days followed for co-founders Adam Pinkard and Adam Saunders.
It's not a nice place to be, not knowing whether you're going to survive, not knowing if you're going to have a job to go to, not knowing if you're going to lose everything.
Fast forward to now, it's well and truly risen from the ashes, with construction in full swing at the Perth property. A group of investors has come on board to keep the gin and whiskey brand alive. New equipment is around the corner and production capabilities will soar.
The new system will make up to 1 million litres a year, which we hope within 4 or 5 years of the new system, we'll have that demand to be making that full capacity 1 million litres a year.
Existing barrels of whiskey are being released monthly, with the smooth spirit also heading offshore.
We've got our first shipments heading off to the US in the next week or so. We're talking to some investors in the US about making some product exclusively for them.
A centrepiece of the revamped distillery grounds will be a water feature with gardens and picnic areas surrounding it, enticing tourists and brides and grooms to be.
We went out there one Sunday afternoon and just fell in love with the place. So beautiful out there.
What they're planning seems pretty interesting. We're not till 2023, so everything should be done by then and it should just be awesome.
The renovations are due to be complete by August, with an official reopening expected later in the year. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian-born ideas will be shared with millions of people across the world when the iconic TEDx event lands in Hobart this weekend. Speakers from a range of backgrounds will take centre stage in what's being branded a major coup.
The most recognisable faces have stepped into the spotlight on the TED Talk stage. Now, for the first time since 2013, Tasmanians will get the chance to share their inspirational ideas, highlighting the unique nature of our island state.
It just provides a fantastic platform for people who are doing something which they might think isn't that special to be recognised by the wider world as being something that's really incredible.
Launceston harpist Emily Sanzaro will feature among the lineup.
I feel really excited to be able to share what I do on this platform. I think that the whole idea of TEDx is a wonderful initiative.
A live audience will watch on in Hobart, but from afar, millions can tune in globally. Marine science, small business and philosophy all open for discussion.
And I'm going to be looking at whether people who don't have any religious beliefs can still have mystical experiences, specifically ones that occur in nature.
After months of planning in the lead-up, the theme of the Hobart event is of land and sea, to complement what Tasmania has to offer.
I just recently released an album of original music for harp, and it was very much influenced by my love of Tassie, particularly the mountains.
The conversation begins on Saturday at the Studio Theatre in what some consider a dream come true.
A professor, which some sort of like a role model to me. I saw his TEDx video on YouTube and I was like, okay, one day I'm going to be like him. And then suddenly the opportunity just come and I grab it.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
And debate is sparking up again over the future of the TSL, with the Southern Football League declaring it wants to see the competition scrapped now. The push has some support from another footy boss who's doubling down on the regions being the launching pads for future stars.
Entering what could be the State League's penultimate season, the SFL has landed a pre-season punch, claiming the competition isn't working when it comes to draftees and player retention and should wind up now putting regional leagues on top of the pile once again. The pitch has some support from the NTFA.
Yes, we do favour the 3 regional football stance and we make no qualms about that, but there are caveats on that.
The biggest being the age-old challenge, player pathways for the elite.
There still are a lot of positives, and there's a lot of good footballers playing at the top level. There's no issue there. But what we haven't got right is the pathway process.
Unlike the SFL, the NTFA stopped short of calling for the TSL to wind up early. AFL Tasmania is sticking to its guns on the State League, saying its future will be decided when Tasmania's case for an AFL licence comes to a head later this year. Meanwhile, the NTFA's Women's League is showing no sign of slowing, splitting into 2 divisions for the first time this season, and signing former AFLW star Abby Green, who will coach Old Launcestonians.
Everybody's improving out of sight each week, and I mean, their understandings of the game is just phenomenal.
While Cleanaway is coming on board as sponsor of the Women's League, a move seen as a breath of fresh air.
Traditionally, female orientated industries want to partner with female sport, so to have a non-traditional industry come to us, we're really excited about that.
Moving parts in what's going to be a calendar full of crossroads for the game. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Men in a regional town are banding together to raise money and secure the future of their men's shed. Members of the Longford organisation are spending endless days in the woodworking shed and the garden as they aim to become the first group to own their own site.
Sparks are flying at the Longford men's shed. This old tractor wheel is soon to become a flower box.
It was in the back of the property when we purchased the place, and it was pretty rusted out, and I thought I could repurpose that.
Locals gather here weekly or even daily to work in the shop, turning old into new, or just to catch up with mates.
It's an outlet, you know, and we just get chatting. It's good for mental health and men's health issues, if nothing else.
After 12 years, the shed now has more than 50 members. But to ensure it stays here into the future, they want to be holding all the cards.
Most of the sheds in Tasmania, if not all, are owned by a council or a school or something, but we've got to sort of fight our own battle here.
It's hoped a community organisation may buy the privately owned site and lease it to them, but Plan B is to raise the $120,000 on their own. They're chipping away at the total by taking on any jobs they can.
A lot of woodworking jobs, refurbishing benches and tables and so forth. We even make benches for schools.
At the back of the shed is a garden overflowing with beans, tomatoes, zucchini and squash, all for sale.
They're grown in virtually organic situations, and they know that it was dug up today and they're reading it tonight.
And all grown in the
best soil in Longford.
The club's always hungry for more members as they fight for funds to save their shed. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Summer Cup bolter White Hawk is hoping to become a homegrown hero in Hobart this weekend. The locally bred gelding has drawn barrier 4 in the Cup race and carries the dreams of 2 sisters on his back. As the holy grail of Hobart's racing scene touched down, trainers clung to the make or break barrier draw. And while Glass Warrior will work from the inside, surprise Summer Cup champion White Hawk will be nestled in barrier 4 next to East Ender.
My sister and I bred him out of the first horse that we ever bought together and raced.
Adding the Group 3 Hobart Cup to trainer Angela Breakey's stash would be an unthinkable bonus, especially so late in White Hawk's career.
He's an 8-year-old, but he's probably taken me this long to try and work out how to ride him because he's just not a normal racehorse.
He comes in hot, 3 wins from the last 4 starts, but don't rule out Shaborn Renegade, another late bloomer who'll run from the outside.
I think he had 8 runs before he ran a place, and then he won 5 or 6 on end. When the penny dropped, he just kept on improving.
Marquees for Sunday's Hobart Cup have been snapped up, but those looking to suit up and frock up can still make it through the gate.
We've put aside 2,500 tickets, so for anyone wishing to enjoy a good day out on Sunday, please come out to Elwick.
The $250,000 feature runs at 5 o'clock. And Tasmanian railway workers have had to fast-track their cricket skills. They're hosting teams at the NTCA ground in a carnival between railway workers from around the nation. Tasmania really is the underdog, having never lifted the trophy before. Incredibly, the carnival has been running since 1929.
And I know some of the fellas that played from Launceston in 1939.
We've got a few blokes who retired from cricket that still want to play, and it gives them an opportunity.
Next edition is set to take place on the Gold Coast. I wonder how much cricket will be played in that one, Kim?
I hope it doesn't go off the rails, Tom.
Very good.
Evening. Cloud across Tasmania today with light showers spreading over the state during the afternoon. Hobart 27, Launceston 25, Burnie 21 and Devonport 22. The high today was 28, recorded at Grove and Bushy Park. The Friendly Beaches reached 25, Flinders Island and St Helens 24, 23 at Cape Grim, also on King Island, Maria Island and at Strawn. Lyweenie and Lowhead both 22 degrees. Mid to high level clouds seen on the close-up today, moving across the state. A band of mid to high level cloud is crossing the southeast of the country. Mid to low level cloud sits about the South Australian coast, while mid-level cloud developed about parts of New South Wales and Queensland. Tomorrow's chart shows a weakening cold front about the east coast of Tasmania, while another front brushes the south of the state in the afternoon. A high pressure system sits in the Bight, while a trough extends from Victoria to northwest WA. A look at coastal conditions for tomorrow. West to northwest winds 10 to 20 knots, becoming west to southwesterly 15 to 20 knots by midday. More southerly about the east, tending easterly about the northeast in the afternoon. Winds reaching 20 to 30 knots about the south during the evening and 20 to 25 knots about the north. Seas up to 2.5 metres. A strong wind warning has been issued for the southeast and southwest coasts. Hobart expecting a possible late shower tomorrow, 23 also at Cygnet and New Norfolk with partly cloudy conditions. Launceston 27 partly cloudy, 24 in Devonport also partly cloudy, and a shower or two for Campbelltown 25. 23 in Burnie partly cloudy, a shower or two at Strawn 20, Smithton partly cloudy and 22 degrees. St Helens showers developing 23, a similar day ahead for Swansea, and Fingal showers developing 24. The UV is a high 10 tomorrow and the sun is setting at 8:25 p.m. A fine day ahead for Friday apart from possible showers in the southwest and northeast in the morning and about the north in the evening. Saturday looking fine and Sunday fine also apart from a possible late shower in the southwest with hot conditions expected in the south of the state. A very hot and sunny day tomorrow in Perth, 39 degrees, partly cloudy in Adelaide, 26, a sunny day in Sydney, 32 with a late shower or two, and Melbourne a cloudy day, 23 degrees. And currently in Hobart, it's mostly cloudy, 22, Launceston partly cloudy and 20, Devonport also partly cloudy and 19 there. And Kim, a few fine days coming up toward the end of the week.
I like the sound of it. Thanks very much, Carmen. Well, it's a big night coming up in Beijing, so you can catch all the action here on 7 Tas from 7:30. For now, good night.